Good morning, my beautiful YouTube family, and happy Sunday to you. I am so excited today, you guys, because I have my amazing friend. He is an Emmy Award Winning Designer on. That's why I'm dressed like this, because I didn't want him to talk about me. I had to step it up a little bit. Anyway, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, please push that red subscribe button on the home page of my channel and push the notification bell, and then you're going to be notified to all of the videos coming up in the future. Please like, share, and comment. I do respond to all your comments. I do read them. And please share my channel with your family and your friends. Please ask them to subscribe. So anyway, I want you to sit back. I want you to relax. I want you to get your favorite drink, your favorite beverage. We're going to have a wonderful conversation with my friend Mark. So welcome back to another edition of Beauty Therapy Sundays. All right, you guys, we are back. I'm so excited to have my friend on. So let me tell you a little bit about Mark. Mark is a CEO. He is an Emmy Award winning fashion designer. He is an actor, a producer, a director, a film director, and he's a philanthropist. And in his spare time, he's an attorney. He has his own law firm, you guys. So I want you to welcome my friend, the amazing, the brilliant, the kind, the compassionate, the gorgeous, talented Mark Roscoe to the show. Mark, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So glad you could do this.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, so glad he could be with us. So let's talk a little bit about our relationship. Now, Mark and I have been friends for, you guys, 40 years. I hate to age us like that, Mark, but we have been friends for about 40 years. We met through his sister, Valerie, who's a very good friend of mine. Now, Valerie's a model and a jewelry designer, and she was one of my really close friends, and still is a very close friend. And Mark came in one time. I think he came in to pick her up, and I told Valerie, I said, your brother is really good looking. He should be modeling. and she said, well, I'll tell him. And so you started modeling.
I started, yes.
So Mark, can you tell us, did you like modeling?
Did you
enjoy that?
I enjoyed modeling. I actually got started, a friend of mine, Milos Juric, was a photography student at Columbia University.
Okay.
And Milos, for a senior project, asked me whether I would pose for some of his pictures. And so I obliged, and we had a great time doing that. And unfortunately, right after that, he was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh my gosh.
And so in memory of him, I thought, this is beautiful work that he's created.
Right.
And in honor of him, I thought I'm going to take his work and see if I could share it with, the rest of the world, so to speak. And so I contacted a couple agencies in Chicago, and I brought the pictures to them, and they showed an interest, and that's how I actually started modeling.
Wow.
And so everything that I did throughout my modeling career was because of him and his memory. And,
wow.
So it was nice to have him as part of that journey also.
And you did really well. I mean, you
did okay.
Mark was posing out here. You guys, I'm telling you, you did really well, Mark.
I had fun. I worked for Sears and Bergner's and did some work for Carson's and did a few bit parts in movies and for a while, a friend of mine, Karen Peake, who actually is the screenwriter for the movie that I'm doing. We had an agency in Chicago where we
That's right.
We cast extras for movies that were filmed in Chicago. Wow. So it really kind of launched my career in the industry.
Wow.
By saying hello to you for
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you.
And Mark taught me runway. So he taught me how to walk on the runway.
Yeah, honey, I'm an elephant now. I can walk on the runway and cave in, and now I walk on it anyway. So Mark, let's talk about your designs. Now, as I told you before, Mark is an Emmy Award winning fashion designer, you guys. His clothes are just breathtaking. The attention to detail is just stellar. I'm telling you, every bead, every thread, beautiful clothing. So Marcus, can you tell us, what was the catalyst for you becoming a designer?
Well, I started off as an art major in school. I thought,
I didn't know that.
I'm never going to make a living off of this because I wasn't that good.
I had no idea that you were an art major.
So I actually started because of my mom. She was a plus-size woman,
Okay.
and she had difficulty finding clothes off the rack. And she would go on shopping trips, and she'd come home, and she'd be in tears. And I just felt so helpless that I couldn't do anything. And so I purchased a sewing machine. I taught myself how to sew, and I started creating garments for her. And the psychology of clothing is really pretty amazing. I mean, when you look good, you feel good. And as she started to wear clothes that fit her properly and had a little style to them, she started taking better care of herself. And so that's how the brand started. Mark Roscoe brand started. And as other women who also had other challenges, and we have a lot of clients who've had mastectomies and you know, have, you know, rounded shoulders, and they just have difficulty finding clothes off the rack that fit them. And so we camouflage those portions of the bodies that they feel uncomfortable with, and then we accent the beauty of who they are. And so it's really interesting as we go through that process and you get to know someone and you understand how self-conscious they are about their body. As we start enhancing the beauty of who they are, they just grow. They realize that, you know, and our philosophy is everyone should have an opportunity to look as beautiful as they can, and we provide that opportunity to them.
And you know, the thing too, you guys, the thing about Mark's heart is so big, and I know why his clients love him so much, because he takes this to heart. He wants to make sure that these women look absolutely gorgeous, and that's a big part of who you are, Mark.
Thank you.
And your design. You know, you can see the love in your designs.
Well, and it's fun because, you know, you really start bringing out people who are in a shell because of their physical image of themselves, and they're all beautiful people. But when they start seeing in the mirror just how beautiful they are, then it brings my creations to life, because I could create a beautiful garment for you, but if you've got a sour spirit, or you're sad, you know, it's not going to do us any good. And so when you start allowing that to come out and you see the confidence build, it really is it's a beautiful thing to watch someone mature in that way.
Right. So tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't you start out, the first thing you're doing men's ties? Was that the first?
Yes.
You guys, I'm telling you, absolutely beautiful. I mean, I don't like ties, but this wanted me to start. His ties made me start wearing ties again. Beautiful, beautiful ties, Mark. It's gorgeous. The patterns and the fabric.
I started off with a line of Asian brocade ties. You know, the patterns, instead of a tie being silk screen, the pattern is woven into with the different fibers, and so it really reflects the light and has a richness that oftentimes you lose in a tie that is silk screen, although those are equally as beautiful. But it was really kind of a different dimension that I wanted to bring, and with a man's, you know, tie, it can change a basic suit. You can have a basic blue suit and throw a tie on with a different shirt, and you have a totally different look. And so it really is a great versatile accessory for men that allows them in a very inexpensive way to create, you know, many different looks with a basic wardrobe.
Now I talked to Mark, honey. I wanted him to design some stuff for me, but he has to sew 2 shirts together. This design stuff for me, honey. We have to wait on that till I lose a few pounds. Anyway. Mark, you have designed fashions and dressed a lot of people for the red carpet.
Yes.
So who are some of your favorite clients?
You know, I enjoyed Alice Amter from A Big Bang Theory. We did a garment for her for the Emmys. We flew out to LA. But I think my most notable client was Keegan Michael Key from Comedy Central. You know, Keegan, I met him at an event several years before, and I offered if he ever, you know, was nominated, I'd love to be able to dress him. And Joanne Ficori, who was my publicist at that time, kind of facilitated that original contact. And we made the offer to him after he had been nominated a couple of years ago, and he said yes. And so we dressed him for both the Primetime Emmys and the technical Emmys and the Primetime Emmys. And he was just a joy to work with. I mean, you just realize
he seems like a nice guy.
He's a great guy, and you realize and understand why he's so successful. You know, he doesn't take anything for granted. He's grateful gratitude. I tell you what, is the key to success.
Gotta be grateful.
And he just has a kind spirit, and his career was already at a point where he was, you know, very recognized and to have provided me with that opportunity. And our team was just, it was a pretty amazing experience.
And I remember that tuxedo was just
thank you. We
breathtaking.
We designed the tuxedo, and Reggie Long, who is a jewelry designer, a friend of mine in Chicago, created a beautiful set of cufflinks and studs for him.
Yeah, that's right.
So we had the entire team.
I remember that.
So it was fun to be able to showcase, you know, the talents of a lot of my friends in that project.
I would, I hope that I'm serious. I hope there comes a time that I can get a steady weight where I can have Mark design a tux for me. I don't really go anywhere to wear tux, but at least a nice suit for me.
That's the beauty of doing custom. I could alter it.
Oh, that's right. So you might have to take it out.
That's right.
15 inches.
Size and shape is what we love working with. I mean, that's and that is the kind of the hallmark of our brand is that bodies are like landscapes on a horizon.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Chicago landscape. Or the skyline. There are many shapes and sizes of the buildings that are across Lake Michigan. And that's just like people. I mean, we all come in different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, and I noticed that, like on your runways, you always have different shapes and sizes of women.
Yes,
so how do you go about choosing the talent when you're producing your shows?
It depends what the show is for.
Okay.
And I always, because there are so many types of women, I want to celebrate everyone's body type. And so, it just depends who the audience is, but definitely there's going to be a range from a traditional size 18 down to a size 2 or 3. Yeah. Because that is the beautiful woman that we want to display our garments on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Mark. You are producing, directing, and starring in a movie. Your movie. Tell us about your movie.
Well, we had the opportunity to produce and create some promotional videos for charities in Chicago.
Okay.
Silver Lining Foundation,
yes,
the Chicago-based Alzheimer's Association, and so we did their promotional videos for their charitable events. And I really, as a lawyer, and doing a lot of trial work, you're telling a story. And so telling a story in a different venue was a really easy transition for me to make. And during COVID, we had an opportunity to do another video for Alzheimer's Association, but they wanted us to go into the home of some Alzheimer's patients, which was kind of dangerous during COVID and for our team and for the Alzheimer's patient. Right. And so Karen, who actually wrote the screenplay for the movie at that time, it hadn't been written, I said, why don't we just create our own movie? Yeah. There's a story that we want to tell, and why don't we just do it on our own? And so she wrote this beautiful script. Wow. And we are sharing a beautiful story about two men who have been together for 40 years, one of whom was stricken with Alzheimer's. Wow. And it's their challenge of navigating the effects of Alzheimer's on the relationship, on their family and their friends. And it's also a story about, two men who, at the time when being gay was not accepted in our community, didn't have children, weren't allowed to marry, and so there's a loneliness in dealing with this disease at their stage in their lives because they don't have the traditional family surrounding them. And so it's a touching story about hope and love and promise and the acceptance of people who are different from who we are. Yeah. And so there are a lot of threads of there are a lot of lessons that are threads in the movie that
we need the lessons.
Yeah. And we have been blessed, Marcus, with, the team that I'm working with, and Marcus is included in this, the team that is working on this movie are people that I've worked with for the last 30 years in hair and makeup and actors, and we have an amazing crew. We have an amazing group of talented actors. Opal Staples, who is one of our supporting actress, or main female actress, is in the movie. William Potts is playing the lead role of James. I'm playing the partner of James. But Opal and another dear friend of mine, Nicole Lee, she is a classically trained concert pianist, is scoring the entire movie.
She's scoring the movie.
Scoring the entire movie, and she and Opal have written the soundtrack song, the main song for the movie.
And Opal's singing it.
Opal's singing it. And
she has a beautiful voice, you guys.
It is amazing because there are 6 songs now that are originally written for the movie. Chris Mann, who was on The Voice, has offered 2 of his songs that were our original scores. Blake Alexander, who is also has written a song for the movie, and then Opal and Nicole. Yeah. So the music is going to be outstanding, in the movie. So it's taken on a life of its own since we started. It's about a 10-month project, but it is one of the most fulfilling experiences I have had, and to be able to showcase the talents of all my friends, who generously donated their time and energy to this project.
And that's Mark and I. We support each other. We've supported each other throughout our entire careers. I mean, it is so nice to be able to to work with your friend and also see your friend gain so much success and still remain loving and humble and grateful. I think that's really, really important. So Mark, you are involved in so many charitable causes. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us some of those things that are very important to you?
Well, I think it's important as an artist to remember that it's not all about you. There's something bigger that we're participating in. It's in our community, and to be able to give back to different organizations and to have a platform where your voice does matter, and you're able to contribute in some valuable way. And I always tell young artists, and young designers, it's important not only to develop your brand, but to also associate your brand with the charitable organization, so that people understand that it's not just about you, that you are giving back, and that you're making a difference. Right. And that's why I would want to support you, is because you are helping other people with your success and with your product. And so we had teamed with the Silver Lining Foundation in Chicago, also the Alzheimer's Association in Chicago, which is going to be our main focus for this particular movie. But there are so many other organizations, within your own communities that I suggest that you tap into. My mom passed from cancer many years ago, and so the cancer organizations are very important to us, and education and preventative measures, so that hopefully we can eradicate this horrible disease. So we all play a part in that. And so everyone thinks that, well, I'm just a lonely person from Gary, Indiana. That one lonely person can make a huge difference in someone's life and in these causes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, this is of course Beauty Therapy Sunday, and so we're going to talk grooming with Mark. So Mark, can you tell us that our viewers like to know, our subscribers like to know what my guests do as far as their grooming and beauty habits. So can you tell us what is your regular grooming routine or grooming routine? I say with guys, grooming routine.
Yeah, I'm kind of simple as it relates to that. There are a couple products that I really enjoy. The Ritual products are very nice. They have a great eye cream and also a face moisturizer.
I need eye cream.
Yeah, and at our age, obviously, moisturization. Yeah,
our age with 35.
Moisturizing is very important. Yeah, 45. But I just use simple soap and water.
Okay.
And I keep
skincare soap, though, right?
Skincare soap.
Yeah, skincare. We have to tell the guys that, because they'll pull out a bar of Zest or something. You know what I mean?
I use Neutrogena.
Okay.
And so that's a product that I've used for years. Yeah. There's an oil lait cream that I use, the Rituals cream that I use, and it's just really about keeping my face moisturized, and then obviously staying out of the sun.
Yes.
But what I've really found, Marcus, as far as my skin health and just my general health, is eating well.
Yes.
I've really started exercising and walking a lot, and eating fruits and vegetables and hydration. I mean, of anything that I've tried, that seems to have the more lasting effect, and obviously it's healthy. The creams are nice, but if you're not, if what you're putting in your body is toxic, obviously there's only so much cream that's going to help.
Yeah,
so,
right.
In my regimen right now, it's really more about diet and exercise than the products that I'm using.
So Mark, if you had one product that you could pick that you could not live without, what would that product be?
I think it would be my Rituals moisturizer.
Okay.
I really enjoy that product, but more important than that, and it's free, is water.
Absolutely.
Water has changed my life.
You have to hydrate, and I think we have to, men have to realize they have to moisturize.
Absolutely.
And also sunscreen.
Absolutely.
You have to wear sunscreen like every day, especially now during the summertime. That's very, very important to protect your skin.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mark, for taking your time.
I
love you.
Love you too.
So glad you could be here. And Mark, sometimes he might have to get me out of jail, because people get on my nerves. Anyway, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with life lessons. All right, you guys, I just want to end today talking about fear. Sometimes fear is that thing that keeps us from really accomplishing those things that we want in our life and keeps us from moving forward. Now, sometimes fear comes from anxiety. Sometimes it comes from imposter syndrome. You don't feel like you deserve to be where you are, moving in the direction that you are moving. It can come from a lot of different directions, but you can't let fear stop. You have to work through that. You can't let fear stop you. Mark and I grew up in Gary, Indiana. We're Gary boys.
That's absolutely
And
right.
I think we did okay, don't you think, for ourselves? In a situation that probably was not the best situation, because during our high school years, Gary got a little rough there. And so I don't think that a lot of people expected, anything positive
Sure.
to come out of Gary at that particular time that you and I were growing up.
Absolutely.
But we proved them wrong.
We did.
We proved them wrong. And we had a lot of help along the way, because Gary, she picked us up. She held us. She pushed us. I remember Chuck Dickens, who was this wonderful radio personality. He would have me on his show all the time, and we would talk about beauty and fashion. And then the Post-Tribune, which was, at the time was the Gary Post-Tribune, would write these articles about my career and what I was doing. And Bob Costanza, who is a writer and reporter there, would really supported me. And then, of course, in high school, my high school teacher, Mrs. Hall, who I love to this day, who's still a very important part of my life, pushed me, taught me not to be afraid, taught me that I was talented, taught me to go after my dreams. And those things are absolutely invaluable. Mark, is there anybody in your life that pushed you?
Well, obviously my mom and dad
Absolutely.
are always present in
Yes.
our lives, but one teacher who I still have contact with, Francie Blaney, taught me that fear was nothing more than an emotional response to a series of thoughts that we have put together in our own mind.
Wow.
So think about that.
Yes.
It makes you realize how powerful we are to
Yes.
overcome anything
Yes.
by just the way we think, the energy that we create.
Absolutely.
And so she was one who really made me realize what I had to offer, and to teach me that I deserved. I deserved. I was worthy of receiving goodness in my life.
Absolutely.
So, we still have contact. We just had dinner with each other a couple weeks ago. So
wow.
She's still 45, well, more than that, years later.
Yeah, right.
Still in my life.
Exactly. And and Mrs. Hall, who's still a very important part of my life, is still teaching.
Yeah.
Still teaching me and still supporting. And that is just, teachers are invaluable. When you have a teacher like that, they can change your life. Absolutely change your life. So, you guys, we end every show with a quote. And I hope you can reach this point in your life where you can say this to yourself. And the quote for today is, "My dreams were bigger than my fears." So take that with you today, you guys. I hope you have an incredible Sunday. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday with Mark and I. We really appreciate it. Please check out Mark's website. It's Mark Roscoe Design. And men, you have to buy some of his ties. They are absolutely beautiful. And you can also reach Mark on Facebook, right, Mark? Right. And Mark Roscoe. Check him out on Facebook. Right. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Please don't forget to share the channel with your family and your friends. Ask them to subscribe. This is a free channel, you guys. So all this information you get is absolutely free. And as always, what do we say? Please be good to yourself and be kind. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind to everybody that you meet. It's so important, you guys. And Mark and I know, we both know that love will find you today. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.